So, guys, I just don't feel like this. What else happened about that? Somebody said there was one with Asman or whatever?
Be surprised whenever people get you out of the fucking road and arrest you. It's narcissistic and entitled. That's insane. It's like these people think that the world revolves around their issue.
Asman claimed is narcissistic and entitled to block the roads in Palestine. What absolutely is, what? Narcissistic entitled to sit on your ass and get mad at people trying to stop our own government. Yeah, but you're not stopping the government. The government is at work and they're in the office. The people in the fucking road are people that are trying to get to work, you fucking bum. What the fuck? What is this fucking dumbass brain dead dick, motherfucker? What is wrong with this guy?
There's thousands of issues in the world. Is Israel-Palestine the only place where bad things are happening? Look at Ukraine. No. What if everybody acted that way? The world would be chaos. You can't realistically act that way. It doesn't matter what you think is effective or not. Just guys, because something you don't...
Guys, a big movement that's very... Guys, I am going in the street for world... Even if it's almost everybody in a place that's not effective, you're not... Even though you're on the right side of things, you're not doing it right and you're not being very effective in your movement. If you... Even with less people, if it's more targeted and better and you're just being more effective.
Just because something...
Going in the streets and blocking the roads is very ineffective. Like, what?
You don't have the right to make an effective protest based off of the rules that you invent. That's...
In my opinion, it causes more damage. Most people that are in the streets, in their car, trying to get to work, and if they're like on the edge, they don't really know much about politics, they're just trying to make meets end, they're just trying to work like a low-paying job, stuck in traffic, and they're like kind of in the middle of this conflict, they don't really know much about, and they see a bunch of people with flags that are sitting down them, and they can't get to work, and they lose money, and they won't be able to make ends meet and feed their family because they can't get to work. What do you think these guys are gonna think? I don't give a fuck. Now at that point, I'm gonna be honest with you. Fuck your movement. Like, fuck y'all in the streets. And that's not what I think. What people are thinking in the middle of the street. They're like, I don't even know about this conflict, but now I'm biased against you guys because you're fucking my life over, you morons. And that's just how humans react to things. What the fuck? You're not presenting Palestine, preventing some minimum wage worker from getting to work, get out of the road. You would have said the same thing during civil rights movement. Gotcha, bro.
I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine.
Chat, this is gonna be a tough take, and if you do this face, okay, I don't give a fuck if you're right or wrong. You're wrong. I will say you're wrong, and I'll debate you until you use the energy to debate anymore. I'll do it on purpose if you make this face.
Type bullshit where you're talking about how.
I mean, I don't know really. I mean, like Hasan's in California. I mean, neither of us, nobody here, maybe a few people in chat, right, are actually in Palestine. But I'm pretty sure everybody watching this is really just kind of like, they should do this, they should do that.
Patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping.
True. Admit you can do that face? Yeah, I can.
Chirping all the way from...
It's this. And I want to punch myself when I do that. I want to collide with my own fucking fist when I do that. Bang, dude. I'm going to fucking knock myself out, dude.
A lot of people with no dog in the fight have molded this crisis into a familiar battle of good versus evil, oppressors versus oppressed. Hysterical scenes at some of America's top universities this week have generated more coverage and commentary than the war itself in the last 2 weeks. Columbia says that all in-person classes are now cancelled until the end of the semester. Arrests have been made in encampments outside NYU and Yale. Well, one notable Jewish professor at Columbia shared a video of Muslims praying as if it was a shocking assault on US values. Many badly informed pro-Palestine demonstrators, meanwhile, have called for an intifada and chanted, "We love Hamas." Others believe that synchronized dancing is a long-lost secret to peace in the Middle East. Well, these people are all spending $80,000 a year on tuition, but clearly many of them haven't found Wikipedia, and this virtue-signaling fever is now emboldening a growing number of people to confront public figures there's simply no connection to the war. This was New York Mayor Eric Adams berated for supporting...
Okay, Chad, you guys, you're really bad take it. Guys, I feel like in the current year, protests do fucking nothing. True or false?
Genocide because he took his seat on a flight.
Hey, Eric Adams? Yeah, you! You support the genocide in Palestine. There are homeless people all over New York. You're always partying.
See, like something like this, like even if you were right, I mean, you're not doing shit. Like you're just kind of a fucker.
Palestine. There are homeless people all over New York. You're always partying. You don't actually care about the citizens of New York. People cannot afford food. You keep cutting the education budget so you can fund the police.
I mean, if they fly private, you get mad that they're fucking ruining the universe, or whatever. And if they fly public, you harass them. It's like, it's kind of a loss here, bro.
This so-called performance artist has dominated timelines for days after achieving what previously seemed impossible, an outpouring of public sympathy for Alec Baldwin by doing this.
You're putting innocent people in jail, Alec Baldwin. I'm so sorry. Free Palestine, Alec, just one time, and I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone.
Yeah,
I
man.
swear.
Yo, dude, free
Just
them,
say
bro.
Free Palestine one time.
Like, bro.
One time.
Like, bro.
One time. One time, Alec. You know he's a criminal. You know he's a criminal. Come on, Alec. Just say Free Palestine one time. Israel, Zionism. Please say it.
Like, motherfucker, dude. Just fucking do
One
it already,
time.
dude. What is this guy waiting for?
So does any of this make a difference? Are these demonstrators forcing the rich and powerful to confront and condemn the horrors of war? Or is it a wave of self-indulgent protest, just distracting us from the deadly serious realities of a grim ongoing war? In a moment, I'll debate all that with Hasan Piker, Emily Austin, Esther Cracker and James Barber. First, I'm joined by Alec Baldwin's antagonist there, who calls herself Crackhead Barney. Well, welcome to Uncensored.
Yo, what the
Hey, Pierce! I've been waiting for you, Pierce fucking Morgan! I
Okay.
wore my diaper today for you, Pierce. Do you like it?
Not particularly, no. Do you want to sit down?
And Pierce, can you bring me to Buckingham Palace? I would like to meet the Queen.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'd really like to meet the Queen.
I don't think the Queen, if you mean Queen
Guys,
Camilla,
what
she's
the
probably tied up with
fuck?
royal engagements at the moment. If you meant the Queen who
Yeah, well,
died.
get me in, Pierce.
Yeah.
Get me fucking in, Pierce. I want it.
Okay, can I take you back, if I may, to what you did to Alec Baldwin? Can you explain why you did it?
What did I do to Alec Baldwin? Pierce, do you see the damage that
Stop
Alec
zooming
did to me?
in. Yo,
Do you see the
stop
damage?
it.
Look at my
Stop.
arm. Look at my arm,
Stop.
Look at my neck. I was maimed by a white man on Monday. You're
No, you-
telling me what I did?
No, you weren't maimed by Alec Baldwin
Hello?
on Monday, were you?
I was maimed.
No,
my
you weren't.
hand is broken.
You're such a pussy as Michelin on Twitch, bro. It's my stream. It's my choice. I want some of my viewers that are eating food right now, that are having a good day, not to fucking see things that are make them have a bad day. Like, it's not that the tits are sexual. They're disgusting as fuck. Like, they're fucking I don't want them to see that. I'm trying to save their fucking day,
My
dude.
neck is broken.
No, it's
my
not.
legs. Look at my legs. My legs don't work.
Like,
Look
what?
At this. Pierce, are you another white devil? Pierce Morgan, don't do this to me, Pierce. It's too early in the morning, Pierce. Pierce, it's too
Alright,
early.
we could skip
Podcast
this
to
segment,
James
to be
Barber. Well,
honest.
Emily, I mean, on one level, I guess it was quite funny, but on another level, I didn't like what she did to Alec Baldwin. I've got no truck for Alec Baldwin whatsoever. And I think with this case that
Chad, what did Alec Baldwin do? What did he do? What happened?
he's got hanging over him, I hope that justice is served, because ultimately he did fire the gun that killed that poor woman and has been on some kind of weird PR tour ever since. But I don't like to see any public figure, whether it's Eric Adams, the mayor, on a plane.
Yeah, I know he shot that person accidentally, whatever, but what else? What is he was doing this skit about saving somebody?
Or Alec Baldwin getting a coffee, harangued and harassed in that manner. Now, I tried to conduct a serious interview. She obviously wasn't interested in doing that, wanted to turn the whole thing
Just that?
into a foul-mouthed rant and joke and performative thing. Fine. That's entirely her right to do it. But what did you think of these harassings, not just by her, but by other people, of public figures?
Guys, this is a debate that I think I don't really understand it. The thing that Alec Baldwin chat. Hold on, before we go into the video, chat. What was the actual conclusion of that? Is it still in trial, whatever? Because I was under the impression that on a movie set, right? That like it's up to the people before him to check and double check before they hand over the gun, even though there are certain safety precautions that the actor has to take, right? Treat every gun as if it's loaded or whatever, everything. I think he used the gun the way that the scene made him use it, right? And I don't think there was checks that he could do himself to make sure it's a blank. It's the people behind the armor, and there's two people before him that had to check that. Guys, it's not just the armor. There's somebody else as well. Skips off. What did it say? Interesting. Well, I'm not going to defend the murder, but it's like, let me give you another example. You're a pilot of an aircraft.
My question to you, other than these brain-dead crackhead people like...
I'll repeat it, hold on. Guys, what is the difference between being an actor that shoots the gun that kills somebody because the bullet is wrong, right? And the pilot of an aircraft who starts the engine, right? But it's the wrong type of fucking of fuel, and the back of the cabin explodes with the engines on and it kills people. Like, there are people that refuel, there are technicians. The pilot just starts the engine and presses the gas pedal, right? Like there are other lines of guys, it's like the pilot's job is just to fucking press the gas pedal. It's the technicians, the engineers, the build quality people, everybody else to make sure that the plane is ready to go in every way. It's his job to fucking drive the fucking thing. There's a problem with the aircraft in that way. I don't think he can do anything about it. Okay, wasn't this all next segment? Yeah, next segment, moving on. This is eye-opening.
You tried to conduct a serious interview with Crackhead Barney?
Well, no, I was...
No, fuck it, you're right.
My question to you, other than these brain-dead crackhead people like those. How else would speak out against people who use your money for things you are disagree with?
Unfortunately, like, money rules the world, right? And I mean, there are ways that I don't even know or understand, but I mean, and even if I think like harassing them like that is a sure way for them not to do anything. And if they were gonna ever do something about it, now they sure as hell will not do it out of spite. And it's just, it sounds dumb. I'll say it again. That's just how humans act. Like, when that's just how it is.
Asking her about a viral video of her harassing Alec Baldwin, which I do actually think is a serious thing. I do actually think public figures should not be harassed in that manner. I've had a bit of it myself, and I think it crosses a line, right? And Alec Baldwin, as far as I'm aware, has not said anything particularly sensational about the war at all. So why she is harassing him in the street the way that she did, I think is worthy of examination. Wow. Now, as it turned out, she had no interest in having a serious conversation. Okay, so we've cut it off. But I don't think I should be blamed for getting on someone.
Votes, exactly. City council, public petitions, fucking call your representatives, vote properly, it's called the civic duty. A lot of these dumb fucks, ironically, do all this charade on TikTok, but don't do their fucking civic duties.
One who is literally at the center of a quite big news story in America for harassing a famous star. You, Hasan?
No, it was for clout. She was doing it for clout. That's why she went on the show, also for clout, which you were correct on pointing out that using the ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza and what's happening to the Palestinian people as a vehicle to create more social clout for yourself, social capital for yourself is pretty pretty disingenuous, pretty
Okay, I
messed
have
up.
to jump
but,
in there though, because isn't
you
that
know,
what everybody's doing?
Well,
Isn't that what this show is also doing? Because
Well-
you're talking about create political clout,
Well, hang on.
create
Okay,
noise,
I'll come back
to
to
get clicks, to make money.
Listen, let's
Oh God.
not all be disingenuous,
No,
right?
but the whole
We're all in-
conversation,
hang
and
on.
actually, Crackhead Barney isn't that different to you.
Well, actually-
and Crackhead Barney said it herself. She said, we're no different. And I kind of agree with Crackhead Barney. I didn't think I'd say
If
it.
you think there's any correlation between what she just did
That
on
someone's
the show,
screaming over someone and not letting them speak.
Right.
There's definitely a correlation.
well, you think
there.
that I've treated you like she treated
No,
Alec
I'm
Baldwin?
just saying that I think that actually you aren't that different. You're trying to do the same
It's
thing.
ridiculous. I'll come
You're
back
just
to that.
doing it in a different way.
No, it's a preposterous suggestion. I do not do what she does, right? But Hasan, here's the point I would make to you. A lot of people think a lot of these protesters at universities in America are performative. The ones who are chanting their support for Hamas, the ones who are chanting about intifada and pretending it's not about a violent uprising. I mean, do you accept that a lot of that is not only performative, but public demonstration of support for terrorism?
It's all performative.
Absolutely not. I don't think that. I mean, all protests are technically performative, obviously, but
Yeah.
there's a very clear-cut goal for the group of students at Columbia and many other universities. I was in Melbourne not that long ago, and I attended a Palestinian protest there, a Palestinian rally there, and the students there were also demanding the exact same thing, that they divest, their colleges divest from a lot of the companies.
They should
that are
invite me to
aligned
this
with
show
the
next
state
time.
of
I'm gonna go on
Israel,
it.
a lot of the companies that are directly involved in operations in the West Bank, a lot of the companies that are playing a role in the regular maintenance of the apartheid regime of Israel and helping Israel conduct an ethnic cleansing campaign. That is the ultimate goal. That is why they're trying to very clearly
Say what?
cause a little bit of
Just do my thing, just be ignorant. Because I think my general ignorant, dumb take and disruption is more productive than any stupidity that is just fucking filibuster. Filibuster full of garbage. Just filibuster the fucking dialogue with nothing of value. I think is more productive.
a disruption and engage in.
But are you
thankfully,
comfortable? Okay, but are you comfortable,
the most American
Hasan?
thing you can do?
Are you comfortable
civil
with the
disobedience.
ones who are seen chanting support for Hamas or chanting about intifada?
I am perfectly comfortable with people chanting about the intifada. As far as the Hamas thing goes, any kind of protest is always going to have a litany of random people, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. You have to look at the actual tangible goals that the protest movement is stating they're interested in. And I think that those goals, and I think you will agree with me on this, Piers, I think those goals are pretty valid overall. I think that they want to, one, recenter the attention to the genocide that is ongoing in Gaza, and two, demand that their tuition dollars do not go to operations in Israel. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a campus. There's going to be a sister campus that is being built in Tel Aviv right now for Columbia University. This means that Columbia University, which once housed the likes of the late great Edward Said and many others, and that currently has many Palestinian students who pay tuition for projects such as this one, will not be able to go to that sister campus.
So now I'm guessing that I hate to say this, Jet. I'm just trying to. So now knowing this, if the school doesn't do anything and continues to give dollars in that thing, I take it that every person that's out there that's not performative will cancel the tuition and find another school where the dollars don't go there, right? I think that would be the logical conclusion, correct? That's what they're saying.
I find that abhorrent.
Otherwise, they're funding it, and they would obviously go against the funding of things that they don't agree with, right?
But it's everyday existence.
All right,
in Israel,
okay.
Let me bring in Emily. You've been listening to all this. Your response?
No, you dumbass. Well, we've had this discussion a lot of times, and in other comparisons. Here's a good one: Blizzard. People said, Blizzard company, whatever. All the drama that's going on in their offices. If you play an Overwatch game on stream, you're supporting that, right? And we were like, yo, today, guys, I will not do this, right? So if they continue to do that, right, clearly you're never going to play their games again. Oh, wait, everybody played their games again. Oh, shit. And it's just like, brother, like if you're going to make a comment and you're going to do a certain thing in that regard, well, you have to uphold that when it comes down to do action. The same way, if you wanted to do action, you have to do action too.
With all due respect, Hasan, why do you feel that Columbia, or any college for that matter, owes you to divest from Israel? Why do you think your opinion is correct? Because so far, I heard the classic buzzwords: apartheid, discriminatory, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, which is funny because it's all the exact opposite. So if I may ask you, what about Israel is apartheid? You also just said the students in Israel, the campus in Israel would not allow Palestinians to join. Are you confused, or do you know nothing about the country of Israel? Because let me remind you, Jews are not allowed in the West Bank and Gaza. However, Arabs have full Israeli citizenship, have the rights, are members of the Knesset, which is the equivalent of, you can think of Congress, and even prosecuted a former Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, an Arab judge. So what apartheid exactly are you speaking about? What genocide? What ethnic cleansing? And secondly, how dare you say it's okay to talk about an intifada? Let me remind you, the intifada, last time it happened in Israel, consisted of thousands of people dying in bus bombings. So are you saying that you support terrorism and killing innocent people?
I understand some of these words. I think a couple.
Well, intifada simply just means revolution, and I'm an American, and in 1776,
violent
we did
revolution.
one of those, and it was pretty fucking good. Yeah. What do you think? The American?
Okay,
do you think the American Revolution was a tickle party?
Hiroshima.
Of course not.
We also bombed Hiroshima.
Don't. Yeah, I know, and that was also unjust and unimaginably cruel. But of course, the Israel Defender is also defending nuking civilians and killing them by the hundreds of thousands. Now listen, let's get back.
But when it goes
let's
against
refocus the conversation to the points that you made. Let's refocus the conversation to the points that you made.
Okay, look,
you said,
just to remind everybody,
about?
I'm actually moderating this, but that's an interesting point that Emily just raised.
Here's my take.
It does seem that you're very...
Here's my take about this conflict. Dua Lipa kind of fell off. How the fuck she...
Selective about the violence that you support. That when you support it, it's justified. When other people use things in a violent way that you don't support, it's unjustified. Seems like it's all skewed to what Hasan Piker thinks.
Well, not necessarily just what I think. I think that there are obvious markers, obvious boundaries. I don't think violence against civilians is justified. I have talked about October 7 on this very same show, saying that it was a tragedy. It was atrocities that occurred on October 7. Specifically. When you target civilians in any capacity, I think that that is unacceptable. However, this does not mean that violence will not occur in many circumstances. Violence has occurred in every single revolutionary action, many good revolutionary actions. Obviously, America bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with an atom bomb, that was not a very good moment for anybody. It was not a very good moment for human civilization at all.
Was what Hamas did on October the 7th... Was what Hamas did on October the 7th an example of what you would call a justified revolution?
I don't look at every single act of violence. I look at
You've literally just been reciting a whole load of them.
Systems of oppression.
Why are you avoiding October the 7th?
You do it too.
No, I don't.
I'm not avoiding it. I've talked about it a million times over.
Let me ask you one more time.
Hang on. This is not what we're here to discuss.
Emily, hang on.
This is not what we're here to discuss.
Let me just ask you directly one more time. Let me ask you one more.
Hold on. Somebody has posted this at the same time. What is this? Is this real? And I know what this is. Subject missing from TikTok. TikTok hashtags is a percentage of Instagram hashtags on the same subjects. For every 100 Instagram post with time-related hashtags, there was only 7 about on TikToks. Interesting. Yeah, I'll take it for face value for now, but it'd be cool to get the when we get images like this. It'd be cool to get like the source somewhere so you can know. And on top of that, it'd be cool to like sometimes like causation or whatever, like parallel stats. Maybe sometimes guys, I'm just saying just in general. Sometimes it's good to have an understanding of stats, right? Well, I'm not gonna fucking sign in, cut.
One time, do you believe what happened on October the 7th was a justified act of revolution? Yes or no?
I do not, and I do think that. Oh wait, hold on. That's let me clarify. Let me clarify something very important here. Events that unfolded on October 7 were atrocities. That much is clear. Those atrocities could have been avoided if Israel was not an apartheid regime. Israel has been an apartheid regime for 75 years. In the early
defining
no, you can't just chime in. You can't just chime in. You ask me a question. You want it?
Why
you ask me a question.
I'm
going to give you an answer.
Because you're repeating
Israel
these lies.
has been an apartheid regime since its inception. Until 1967, Israel was an apartheid regime for the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs, as you called them. There was a two-tier criminal justice system. They were subjected to military court processes and not the.
Okay, apartheid means a policy system of segregation or discrimination on the grounds of race. Okay, guys, I'm not even being at devil's advocate. This is a simple question. Are those different races? I thought this was more about its races.
The civil court processes until 1967. After 1967, they got citizenship.
Okay, it's Arabs and Jews. I thought if you're Jewish, you will partake into the religion of Judaism. I didn't know you could spawn Jewish. I thought a race is something that you spawn into. So you can spawn Jewish. This is a race. I had no idea. Okay.
There are obviously still many different social issues that pertain to the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs that are living in Israel.
I'm fucking confused now. Never just saying that. Guys, when people say something that's like against Jews, I think it's anti-Semitic. When they say it's racist, then if people are anti-Jewish?
Protesting is not even allowed in Islam.
Hold on, I'll replay that in a minute. Well, then this doesn't make any sense. Then how can it be apartheid if it's between a nationality and a religion?
Those who are not Jewish, of course. However, Israel currently is occupying the West Bank. There are more than 2 million Palestinians that live in the West Bank. Israel is illegally occupying the West Bank. There are checkpoints. There are license plates that restrict Palestinian travel. The Israeli operations in the West Bank have destroyed Palestinian statehood. Now, of course, all of this is readily available for those who want to learn about it, yourself included. I hope you look it up. B'Tselem is an Israeli human rights organization which declared Israel to be an apartheid regime in 2021. In the April of 2021, Amnesty International declared Israel to be an apartheid regime.
Let me. Okay, before I move. Okay, hang on. Before I just want to bring in our two British panelists here, but just finally, just to clarify, Hasan, I can't quite work out whether you said you do think October the 7th was an unjustified act of revolution or whether you changed your mind. So can you clarify?
I'm starting to think that this screen over here is AI.
I think that violent means of maintaining an apartheid is inevitably going to yield violent retaliation.
So was it justified?
Something that is completely avoidable.
Was it justified?
Civilian deaths are never justified.
You know what, Hasan?
Hang on, Emily.
You look Hirsch Goldberg Poland's mother in the eyes. No, you look this person's mother in the eyes and you tell him that this was justified. You tell him his arm being blown off and being held in captivity for 200 days is justified.
I do love that the Israel defender has no capacity to fucking hear anything I'm saying.
Palestinians who are made of identity.
It just... If you're not going to respect me and listen
to
what I have to say, which, by the way, of course you don't respect.
Gaza.
Oh, if you talk over each other, nobody can hear you.
What do you mean? I think.
So these shows, chat. I'm going to sell technology to these shows, and they're going to buy it, and I'm going to become a billionaire. They have a monitor, and they have the headphones on, right? That are branded to the show, And whenever somebody does this, she gets muted and it says, you are muted. And her headphones gradually increase the level of the volume of other talkers to the point where it hurts their ears. So that they have to listen and they can't speak.
It's not I think. It's not I think. It's the entire world knows.
No, it is you think.
It's the
The
entire
only
world
thing
knows.
that
Emily,
promotes
please.
your narrative.
Let me handle this, Emily. Hasan, just before I come to the two people who are with me here, I just need some clarity here because it seems like you're dancing around whether you think October the 7th was justified or not.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this back and forth masturbation? I've already given you my fucking
Piers, why are you
position.
doing this?
I'm
He's
sick and
happy.
tired
It's
of
Jews
repeating it
being
over and over
killed.
again.
Okay,
Because
I
it's
just
Jews, it's okay.
Ask this
Emily,
demon
stop
next to
talking.
me
It's
wearing
Emily,
a fucking
come back
IDF
to you.
dog
Only
tag.
when it's Jews, it's okay.
Please
Ask
stop
this
shouting
one.
at each
demon next
other.
to me wearing an IDF dog tag.
I
If
wouldn't
she
mind
actually
group
thinks
masturbation
Israel's
personally.
actions are
Bring them
justifiable.
home.
Do you
It's
see
to bring
me
the
rocking the
hostages home.
fucking...
The hostages
All right,
that you
you're talking
rightly
over each
believe
other.
belong in
matter.
the
All right.
You know what
tunnels
it
of
is.
Gaza.
I'm going to give you two.
I'm
going to let you two calm down. It's pointless. We cannot hear you when you talk over each other.
Troll people.
Every time recently, I have someone from both sides on, like it goes like this.
I'm wearing this rusty necklace.
Please,
because
can you
there are
listen to
200
me,
Israeli
Emily?
Civilians in Gaza right now.
Can you
as
stop
hostages.
doing this to each other, please?
Emily,
Nobody
Emily,
can understand a
can you
word
condemn the
either of
actions
you
of
saying.
Israel?
Now let me come to Esther and James here. This is one of my problems.
There's like a bunch of like prepared trinkets and items like in her pockets, like ready to go.
I want to hear if Emily condemns the actions of
Hassan,
Israel.
you
Why
will
don't you ask
please
her
let me
about that?
moderate the debate.
Why don't you ask her about
I don't condemn
30,000
the idea.
people
I've got two
killed?
panelists here who've not had a word yet.
Exactly, because you're a
They
fucking
kidnap
terrorist.
Please stop
civilians from their
talking.
homes. And I think you're a terrorist. And I think you're a terrorist as well.
Okay, well, I'm not the one wearing.
Because
I'm
until
not
the
one
hostages
wearing
are home,
the
don't expect the war to be
insignia.
over.
Yeah, I know.
Bring
you don't
them
care about the
home.
hostages. If you
I
cared
love
about
how
the
you're
hostages,
condemning
you would
me.
be
You are
screaming at
exposing
Benjamin Netanyahu.
your own terrorism
Benjamin
on live
Netanyahu
television.
is the hostage
you
killer.
are exposing. You know,
Benjamin
excuse
Netanyahu
me,
has
you
killed
should
more
condemn
hostages
Hamas.
than
What do
Hamas
you
has.
think you're achieving
Hamas
here?
for not only oppressing the Palestinian people, but for spreading terrorism. I don't see your outrage at Hamas. Israel gave Gaza
All right,
back
listen,
in 2005,
I would like to, please.
and Hamas has turned
Can you
this
both
into
please-
a terrorist
I think Hamas is the
haven.
lesser
Instead of
Emily and
building a
Hasan,
single
can you
war.
please show some
Shame on
courtesy
you.
Hamas
to the
is
other
the lesser
panelists?
evil in comparison to Israel.
Can you please stop talking, both of you, and
You
let
hear
the
me?
other two panelists have a
You want a
say?
soundbite, Pierce? I'll give you a
Give them some
soundbite.
courtesy. Please. Some courtesy for your co-panelists here. Now, Esther, this is one of the problems I have with this whole debate, is that increasingly it just descends into a screaming match between pro-Palestinians and
Finally, we get
pro-Israelis.
number 4 to talk.
And the biggest losers are the
She has
victims
no
of this
respect.
war. 33,000 dead Palestinians, over 1,500 dead Israelis. These are the biggest victims of this because you're shouting at each other and nothing is getting, like, you're completely, forget having no courtesy for us, you're completely disrespecting actual victims of this conflict, which, by the way, didn't happen in a vacuum. And I think that's the most important thing to say about this. None of this happened in a vacuum. Of course, October the 7th was an atrocity and it was completely unjustified. There was no justification for butchering people in the way that they did. But it didn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of the people that live in Gaza weren't even born at the time that Hamas came in power. So I really I despise this, you're a terrorist sympathizer, you're a genocide supporter, all of this, when really the people that we should be talking about deserve better.
Okay, James, on the wider point of
Hey,
these
hey,
protests.
I
Sorry, I
couldn't
can
get to
respect
that
that.
part because I wanted to describe what the apartheid is, and
Okay.
Emily cut in immediately.
You guys, true, but you guys say she's cooking. The problem is that sometimes it's like a true that most people are going to agree with it, right? But it's not. It looks like cooking, and you really look, right? You zoom in onto the steak, and nothing is cooked. It's like, oh, whoa, hold on, the person's cooking. I can hear noises. I can. What? And then you look, and nothing is cooking. Does that make sense?
To chirp about some random shit.
But
Okay,
it doesn't
you were
progress
both
the dialogue.
abusing
It
each
doesn't progress this dialogue or any argument in any direction.
other. It was very unedifying.
It was very
Let me
clear.
It's
let me
true,
ask
though,
James.
it's true.
James, on the protests.
Yeah, dude.
On the protests, look, I believe in the right to protest. That's an absolute
Guys,
bedrock of any
Guys,
democracy.
it's like if you are debating about like specifics of a topic or whatever, and I go, guys, chill. Okay, guys, hold on. Like, I don't believe that anybody, a civilian, should be killed. Like, don't kill a person going to work. Ooh, hold on. I think I'm the chef. I'm cooking really hard right now.
See.
Yeah,
But
true,
I don't
but it's
believe
not,
in the right
like-
to support terror groups publicly or to chant about support for Hamas or to chant about Intifada, which is a violent uprising. Where's the line for you with these?
I agree. I think we have to condemn what Hamas did, and I don't think the words that have been used so far have been strong enough. I mean, it was the worst thing we've seen in a very long time. It was disgusting, appalling, awful for everyone involved. I also have a lot of sympathy, if not, I can't think of a bigger word, for the people of Gaza. It's awful, and I will agree with you. I do want a free Palestine, and I also want a free and successful Israel, but I don't want innocent people murdered. So yeah, you can't go to a protest and start shouting about support for Hamas. That's insane.
Isn't it ironic that something like this has become a haven for like the mental?
I still think that Landia at this point is becoming more and better of an option by the day.
Unwell. You're talking about something as serious as a conflict in Israel and Gaza, and for some reason you have really uneducated people that are clearly 20 years ago would have been in an asylum supporting this openly, not even knowing the conflict, not even knowing the context of what they're supporting, and for some reason we even give it airtime. That's what upsets me. These people don't deserve airtime.
Right? Everyone is so triggered on both sides, on all sides, and rightly so, because a lot of terrible stuff has happened. So that's where the emotion is coming from. But really, I think we all want the same thing, and that is for innocent people to not be murdered or slain in the streets.
Okay.
Right. I mean, look, Hasan. Hang on, Emily, please, I'll come to you. Let me just ask Hasan.
Okay.
When you and Emily go at each other like you just did, nobody wins. I mean, no one can really understand a word you're saying because you're shouting over each other. You end up just calling each other terrorists. There's no sensible dialogue here. There's no constructive conversation. It's just two implacably opposed sides abusing each other. Do you understand that?
Yeah, Landia, my idea was to remove the toy from all. So it's like a reset of the whole zone. Everybody gets mixed into one, and it's not named yours or theirs. For now, it has a new name. The whole spot is called Landia because it's like Arabia, but it's the land. It's Landia. It's for everybody. Boom. It's like a reset. It's like whatever, bro. Boom. Thoughts?
Yeah, listen, Piers, okay? This is going to always be a very heated discussion, okay? Having a conversation about how heated this discussion is utterly unproductive. Every single moment that we use on air, not talking about every single university building being desecrated, destroyed. The fact that we're having this conversation on the eve of hundreds of mass graves being unearthed right now in many different parts of Gaza around hospitals that Israel had laid siege to is disgusting. I agree. I came on here, as I have done last time as well, and as I will probably do in the future as well, with one simple goal in mind, which is to address all of the misinformation that surrounds stuff like this. As far as the Crackhead Barbie thing goes, yeah, she's a random TikTok influencer who gives a shit about what she has to say. She's obviously doing it for clout.
True.
But the students over at Columbia, okay, the students that I have talked to at the Columbia University Apartheid Divest group, the students that I've talked to from Jewish Voice for Peace.
All right, Emily, let me just ask you the same thing I asked Hasan. When you guys scream at each other and call each other terrorists, it doesn't obviously achieve anything.
Did they fucking cut his ass off? What happened?
Other than it becomes unintelligible to the audience. You know, is there not a better way we can have this conversation?
Funnily enough, correct.
Oh, what is this? At what timestamp? I'm not gonna fucking watch this.
This pedophile is another man's good citizen.
They don't have the ability to give every single person, every ethnic group their own Hasbara hostage tag on or whatever.
Will probably
a lot of the people that live in Gaza weren't even.
Wait, why didn't she just give the fucking answer to the question? Hasan, take notes. Who is this lady? She answered this question way better in giving the pro-Palestinian side.
Born at the time that Hamas came in power. So I really despise.
Oh, so she came with some stats.
You can't tell she has a Caribbean/British accent? Caribbean? Is that the same as British? I'm gonna be honest, Caribbean, British, fucking Australian, all that shit sounds the same to me, okay?
Sympathizer, you're a genocide supporter, all of this, when really the people that we should be talking about deserve better.
Okay, James, on the wider point of these protests.
Well, I couldn't get to that part because I wanted to describe what
Oh no!
Oh, I think he misworded. I think he means like British and British Caribbean, not British or Caribbean. I think it's like British Caribbean and British do sound the same because it's very close to one another, no?
Oh, do you know what Hasan just saw flash before his eyes? Do you know he just relived? Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Through legal. So, for instance, like exercise,
They're making us wait. So we didn't have to
have the status or the power in society in order to do so.
Yeah,
it's like I wish Destiny could just come in at the beginning and give us the right answer right away instead of making us wait.
So we didn't have to list a fucking Hasan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me feel
like we have the cheat sheet right here.
Honestly, like
it's funny because like the only
it's
way
such a fucking retarded thing to say. Like, I'm sorry, but like if you can't comprehend the fucking
And it's even a black woman, Destiny. They gave the right answer.
I despise this, you're a terrorist sympathizer, you're a genocide supporter, all of this, when really the people that we should be talking about deserve better.
Okay, James, on the wider point of these
Well,
protests.
I couldn't get to that part because I wanted to describe what the apartheid is, and Emily cut in immediately to chirp about some random shit.
Okay, you were both abusing each other. It was very unsatisfying. Let me ask James. James, on the protest.
Yeah, dude.
On the protest. Look, I believe in the right to protest. That's an absolute bedrock of any democracy. But I don't believe in the right to support terror groups publicly, or to chant about support for Hamas, or to chant about Intifada, which is a violent uprising. Where's the line for you? With
you know what? I don't care enough to get like the right answer. I'm just listening to this
Correct.
debate.
And funnily enough, I have the same exact answer
I'll
as
speed run it,
Hasan.
chat.
My job here is to make sure that I'm debunking false narratives that Hasan is clearly spewing. My job here is to call out hypocrisy. And I just saw another one where he's saying that Crackhead Barney, whoever the hell that girl was, is a lunatic, but Aaron Bushnell, who lights himself on fire, is a hero. You can't pick and choose whatever fits your narrative. And I keep on repeating that over and over again because the Palestinian movement will literally just take what they can get, spew all of the truth into their false narrative, spread misinformation, and then you say that we're the liars. You tell me I'm wearing an IDF dog tag. I'm wearing to bring them home for the hostages that you. No, it says bring them home.
You're using the hostages as a simple political tool to make
As
propaganda
what?
in the West is quite disgusting. The protests that are happening in Israel right now are massive.
Are a political tool?
And those protests,
what?
You are using
Hasan,
humans
pause.
in
Why do
captivity
you
as a
think the
political tool.
hostages are
It's so obvious.
Why, Hasan? Why are you dehumanizing the hostages? Because I have no problem admitting the Palestinians deserve better. I feel
You're
terrible
using them as a political pawn.
I can say
If you
that.
cared about the hostages, you would be
Hasan,
completely right using the hostages.
Let me bring in James. Let me
Hasan,
bring in James, please. Please, let me bring in James.
I agree with you.
Sorry, can you please, when I say stop talking, please stop talking. We've got 4 people here. James.
If anyone is using hostages, surely it's Hamas, Hasan. How can you say that? How can you use that argument? That's a crazy thing to say. It's Hamas
What do you mean, how can I
have
use that
taken
argument?
these
There
people
are
from their
currently
homes,
tens of thousands of people in
murdered their
Israel.
relatives.
There are currently tens of thousands of Israeli citizens right now in the streets of Israel, in the streets of Tel Aviv, outside of Benjamin Netanyahu's house, protesting every single day. What are they protesting? They're protesting for Benjamin Netanyahu to facilitate a ceasefire with Hamas so that they can actually bring the hostages home. That is precisely the number one goal of the family members of the hostages.
Who
and
is
if
using
anyone
the
on
hostages?
this panel was
No,
being
answer
even a
that
little bit
question.
honest,
You've
they would
changed.
recognize
You're
the
not listening to
reality
my
that,
question.
listen, just listen.
You didn't listen to my...
Chat. Okay, chat, guys, I'm not being devil's advocate. I don't even know about the conflict. I just, as a core concept, isn't asking somebody to abide by somebody's demands for hostages like you're like negotiating with a terrorist at that point, right? Isn't that you're supposed to like not to do that or whatever, right? If somebody has a hostage to pressure you into doing something, it's wrong. No.
Question.
Regardless of the situation.
Listen to what I'm saying, and you will understand perhaps what I'm trying to imply
That's very
here.
patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, okay? I don't give a shit about what your perspective is.
I agree. Hasan
with
doesn't
quite
like
a lot
what you
of the
have
things
to
you're saying,
say, so
Hasan.
you're wrong. It's Hasan's way or the highway.
I mean, you
Wow,
are.
really
There is no
clever
both
you
sides
are.
on a genocide. Is there a
Really
both sides of a
clever.
genocide? There is no both sides.
Well, the thing is, it's interesting you should mention the
Really?
hostages.
What is
no
in the
both
Hamas
sides
charter?
and
They want
apartheid.
a Jewish genocide, but that's okay. But
the
a Jewish
thing is,
genocide is okay.
if you're talking about the well-being of the if you're talking about the well-being of the hostages, what sense did it make for the IDF to flatten about 70% of Gaza? Because I completely agree. Bring the hostages home. If you look at Gaza, the topography of Gaza right now, it looks like a pancake. So I'm sorry, this whole argument of Hamas using them as human tools, fine, but the IDF has also been using it to continue that campaign. If you were told that, if God forbid, if you're...
So why don't everybody releases all hostages, whatever, and then people can have a discussion that isn't under duress? Because when you're under duress, you're not gonna get anything good out of it. I'm just telling you. If you have a human drawback and whatever, right? It creates a dialogue that's even more hostile, and if both have it, it's even worse. So what is it? everybody not do that.
Your relative was one of the hostages and you saw what's happening right now. And I met someone whose mother is a hostage and he said he didn't want his mother and her being taken to be used in the name of violence. Right now, he's sitting at home wondering, okay, what is the logic of trying to bring my mother home when you flattened Gaza? Please explain that to us.
So, can I pose a question
you might very well pull those hostages from under.
Okay, let Emily respond to that.
Everyone wants to criticize the IDF's response, but nobody wants to tell me what should Israel be doing to retaliate October 7th, eradicate Hamas from preventing another October 7th, and bring the hostages home.
I have an idea.
Do you have a solution?
I have an idea. Do not flatten.
So why do people respond to questions with questions? I wish people just fucking answered the question the way that they think that they could do it, and then find out what the question. Otherwise, the dialogue doesn't get anywhere. I don't give a fuck who's winning or who the fuck is right. We don't get a conclusion to anything.
In Gaza and potentially pull your own hostages.
You guys, it says you. I asked a question, chat. You guys, it says you. That's a question. Why are you questioning my question? You guys fucking proved me right again, motherfucker. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Under the rubble, like have been done with thousands of Palestinians. That's a good idea.
This is not a question. I think I just got checkmated. Oh, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Have you found any of them under the rubble?
So you're saying that you don't have
Here's a statement. Fuck you.
an answer.
That is the answer.
So you
don't kill your own hostages.
But you're quick to condemn the IDF, but you don't have an answer.
How
about not killing the hostages?
Very interesting.
I have an answer.
Thank you for proving my point.
It's called the dissolution of the apartheid regime. That's what it's called. Dissolve the apartheid regime.
So what would you like to
allow
see happen,
Palestinians
Hasan?
breathing room. Do you not understand the English language? Dissolve the apartheid regime.
You need a Xanax, first of all. You need a Xanax. Okay, so should Israel do to the West
30,000
what they did to
Palestinians
Gaza?
have been ruthlessly slaughtered by the
Should
Israeli
Israel
state.
give
It makes
back
me a
the
little
land so
upset
that it can
when
turn
someone.
Bro, who says that? Like, what? That's such brain dead. This person seems very uneducated.
To another Gaza? Is that what you'd like to see? Another terrorist haven launching rockets all day instead of turning it to Singapore?
You're debating a topic with me on a panel. You need to take an anti-anxiolytic medicine. Okay, I guess.
Because that's what they did in 2005.
Wait, hold on. What is Singapore?
The billions of dollars in aid they turned into building tunnels. Is that what you'd like to see?
I don't know. Have I gone
Singapore
deaf?
every day?
Sorry,
What,
Emily,
is
is the
Singapore
West
an
Bank
open-air
supposed to be
prison?
Singapore?
What are you talking about?
Is the West Bank supposed to be Singapore?
The West Bank has a port. They can import and export. Israel gave them.
Wait, what did you say?
The West Bank has a port. They can import and export. Israel gave them a great piece of land. They received billions of dollars in aid, not only from the U.S., but Israel gave. Are you mad? They had a chance to rebuild, but they spent the last 15 plus years crying that they don't have enough land because there is never enough land for them instead of rebuilding. But that's okay. Build terrorist tunnels. Don't build hotels and don't rebuild civilization. Just build terrorist tunnels to keep hostages in.
To have a nation state that they deserve by international law since the inception of the Israeli nation state. What you are saying is insane to me. The fact that you brought up the last 15 years as Palestinians crying is disgusting.
Oh, I have one more question.
You are a disgusting little monster who thinks that not offering contiguity to the Palestinians in the form of a state, which is under international law, is just simply Palestinians.
To this Piers Morgan guy, guys, look at him, guys. Look at him. Guys, he's like Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer. He knows what he's doing. He invites a bunch of people who are half educated, loud, and look sensational for TV, right? And just fucking lets him fight in a brawl, and while he just fucking sees the ratings soar, and he just, I don't give a fuck about this. He's just farming.
Question.
Okay.
This West Bank
don't
Singapore.
want a two-state solution. They want a one-state solution that eradicates the Israelis, which is not an option.
Fine. This West Bank Singapore, what place does the settlements play in that? How? Please paint a picture of how the West Bank of Singapore, or whatever, Singapore of the West Bank. How does this illegal settlements fit with?
This guy's been arguing the entire time. You know, he hasn't been talking with his face. This guy has been chat. Look.
I think you're completely missing.
This guy's been counter-arguing.
Just explain.
Bringing stats just with his face.
Of land. I'm explaining it.
Okay, I'm listening.
The picture is they got a great piece of land to turn into society. Instead of turning it into civilized society.
So now he's inquiring about it.
Israel gave the land to Gaza.
Agree.
So then why the Israeli settlements?
Now he's thinking. Still doesn't agree.
It's not Israel's land to give.
Now he agrees a little bit with it. Now he agrees.
There are no Jews or Israelis. There are no settlements in Gaza.
In the West Bank.
They gave it to
in the West
the
Bank.
Palestinians.
They're not in the West Bank.
I'm speaking about Gaza, and now
I'm
you're
asking about West Bank because I was interested in knowing about Singapore.
I'm telling you that if Israel
Palestinians-
pulls out completely from the West Bank, if Israel pulls out from the West Bank, you can bet your ass it turns into the next Gaza. The world does not need two Gazas because one Gaza has already caused enough damage. If, however, Gaza decides to demand
Every
that
argument
Hamas
with Israel
removes
is
himself
about
from
some
power,
hypothetical.
and they can have democracy,
Israel has to do a
then yes,
genocide
there's
because if
potential for
Israel
a
doesn't do a
two-state
genocide,
solution.
then the Gaza
There's
is
no
not
sounds a bit
genocide.
like
The
you're
only
victim
genocide
blaming
is the
Palestinians
Hamas
in
charter that
Gaza.
wants to
You cannot
eradicate the
do
Jews.
defensive genocide.
You know, it's interesting the
cannot
word
do defensive
genocide.
genocide.
Because,
genocide.
hang on, it's
There
interesting
is
the
no
word. It's
genocide
interesting. Hang
happening.
on,
It's just a
Israel is
buzzword.
doing
I would love to get a
genocide.
word in,
Allow it.
please. Interesting the word genocide, because I've listened to all this fractious debate, everyone talking over each other. The truth is that actually only one side is publicly said that they wish to pursue a genocide, and that is Hamas. Hamas, after October the 7th, through their official spokesman on camera, said they wanted to do it again and again and again. That is the purest articulation of a genocide imaginable. And the one thing I never hear from the pro-Palestinian side is
really think-
what Israel was
Cheers,
actually...
cheers.
Well, I mean, yes, I hate to be definition Andy. I mean, the purest way to say it is to say the definition exactly and say that.
Hang on.
Cheers.
That's not the
No, don't
purest.
interrupt me.
So one
I haven't
Hamas
asked you a
official-
question yet.
One Hamas guy.
Sorry, I
But
need to
that's
ask you a
ridiculous.
question.
You're being a ridiculous person.
I'm not being
You're
a
being
ridiculous,
a ridiculous person.
I'm just saying, nobody ever
Because
tells
how
me...
many Israeli officials, even on your show, have said we should keep doing what we have been doing to Gaza over and over again? How does that not register in the same genocidal intent? If you think what that dude was saying, which was, by the way, ridiculous what he was saying, the Hamas official was saying, is that we're going to do October 7th over and over again.
But he said it.
We are justified in doing it over and over again. I find that to be abhorrent. However, what you fail to recognize is that's the genocidal intent, but not Amalek. That's the genocidal intent, but not saying we are fighting human animals. And that's why we have to cut off their food, their water, and their electricity. That was Defense Minister Yoav Gallant
There
who
we
said
go with
that.
the lies
Benjamin
again.
Netanyahu
You're saying
has
Israel
routinely
cuts
talked
off their
about this over and over
electricity.
again.
They don't even
Israeli
provide
interior
their
security-
electricity. You're
Israeli-
saying they cut off their water. They don't
Israeli
cut off their water.
politicians.
You are
Israeli-
spewing lies on
Can
national
you stop?
television.
Can you? I'm
I
talking
think,
about
hang on.
Again,
you're talking over each other. Some of the comments.
Army that
there's no
provides
doubt,
aid
Emily.
to people they're at war with.
Some of the
Only
comments.
Israel.
Israel is.
No, Pierce, I'm not letting
Emily.
you spew misinformation.
terrorist
I'm not letting
country
you
on the
It's
fucking
pointless.
planet. I
lies
swear to
on
God.
television.
Start it again.
This is pointless. We're getting
No,
nowhere.
because
But
he's
thank
spewing
you.
Did Yoav Gallant
misinformation.
not say that?
Israel's cutting off electricity,
Okay.
water, and aid. Just
We're getting-
Did
spewing
Defense
lies. I'm not
Minister
gonna let
Yoav
you do it.
Gallant say we are fighting human animals or not? Answer that question. Did Defense Minister Yoav Gallant say we are
Hamas
fighting
is
human animals and we have to cut off their electricity, cut off their food, cut off their water?
Okay.
Yeah, the slight
You know what? I'm
Israel
going to cut
Israel
off. I'm
provides
going to cut off this
79%
debate.
of their electricity. The rest is Hamas.
I'm going to cut off the
That's
debate
not
because
Israel.
we're getting
Israel
absolutely
provides-
nowhere. But I appreciate everybody joining me. Thank you very much indeed.
Really, bro? Yeah, he's disappointed in his talent scout abilities, the people behind the scenes that are getting the talent for the show. He's disappointed, and this is a place of disappointment because he wanted to farm as much as possible, but they flew too close to the sun, and these people are designed to farm too much, so it's just a shouting match. He was so close, yet so far, dude. Like, this is the first
Everybody
disappointment.
joining me.
Look,
Thank you very much indeed.
so close, man. It's unlucky.